Welcome to everyone. In this short video, I'm going to be talking about vetiver oil. On this page, you can find a lot of good information about the therapeutic uses of this oil and how to combine it with other oils and other great information. Now, even though there's a lot of wonderful benefits to this oil, I have come to the realization that the therapeutic applications of medicinal plants is not actually their highest purpose. In my opinion, the highest purpose of medicinal plants at this time in human history is to help humanity transform its collective consciousness. That includes our relationship with food plants and medicinal plants and all plants. So I'll share some ideas about how we could use this oil to deepen our reverence and connection to the plant world, and through that, to the elements of nature, and through that, to the deeper intelligence of the cosmos, and through that, to the spiritual dimensions of life. In other words, how we can use a simple oil like vetiver in a way that develops ecological spirituality in our hearts and minds. So this oil is distilled from roots of the vetiver grass that grow very deeply in the soil. It's the fragrance of the earth, and therefore it's an excellent way to meditate on our connection to the soil. So we can meditate using vetiver oil by simply placing a few drops on the tips of the fingers. And then inhaling from it as a meditation. So when I do this meditation, I think of several things. The first thing that I notice is that the fragrance comes in on my breath, into the respiratory system, and from there it goes directly into my heart. This is a biological connection between the outside world and the center of our heart. So this is the first and most important aspect of any type of contemplative aromatherapy, which is that we simply observe that there's a connection between the plant and the fragrance that we are inhaling that goes directly into our heart. And once we have made that connection in our heart, we can actually feel the plant inside of us. And that gives us a way to communicate spiritually with the plant and the elements that it represents. So in this case, we smell the fragrance of the earth, and we can feel the fragrance of the earth coming into the respiratory system and to the heart. And what do we think of when we feel this? I think about everything we owe the earth. I think about all the nutrients that I receive every day from healthy food. I think about how fortunate I am to be able to have healthy food from relatively healthy soil when there are so many in the world that do not. I think about the long history of people who have been close to the earth, who have cared for the soil. And I think about all the people who work with the earth now. And I think about the way that all of these people through history and now love the fragrance of the earth. And through this simple meditation, I'm able to participate in that closer relationship with the earth. I think about the abundance that the earth and the soil give us. And I think also about how we're no longer connected, unless we are working in agriculture. We're no longer connected to the soil, and how fundamental that is to the human psyche through all history. And this is a way to remember that. Now, this oil is not just for healing the body and the mind, because let's remember that any essential oil that comes to us is bringing the therapeutic benefits that reflect what the plants are doing in the biosphere of the earth all the time. So in this case, vetiver is healing the earth. It does this in a number of ways. First, it has very deep roots, and that means that it holds the topsoil and it prevents soil erosion. And this is critically important now. Second thing it does is it also regulates the water element, and it does that by bringing the rain down into the earth so that it doesn't just wash the topsoil away. So this grass, when we breathe it into our heart, we're actually feeling and partaking of a kind of intelligence that takes care of the topsoil. That's what this plant does, is it heals the topsoil and it rejuvenates the groundwater. And it also helps to purify and detoxify the soil. It breaks down the various toxins in the soil and purifies it. So this plant is also good for gardens. It's good for other plants. It's good for animals. And so there's so many things that we can learn about vetiver that have so many other uses and so many other ecological and spiritual dimensions other than just the therapeutic applications for us. So finally, as we inhale this and meditate on this fragrance, we should also remember that it's very hard work to dig these roots out of the earth and to distill the oil. So anytime I smell a fragrance in a contemplative way, I always feel and remember and give thanks to the people who did the hard work to produce this for us. So these are some ways that we can use the distilled aromatic essences of plants to transform our consciousness and to give thanks to the energies and the elements of nature. And it's a very simple way to deepen our awareness of the biological unity that we have with plants and the elements, and our dependency on the plants and the elements. So thank you.